All right, what's up, my brothers from another mother? So in this video, I'm going to cover why you're getting terrible results with online dating apps and swiping apps and what you can do to improve it. I've had a couple of guys that have sent me this article in the last few months titled Attraction Inequality and the Dating Economy. This is something that was covered from a few different content creators on the interwebs from the perspective of the black pill, which is more of the quitter pill. And essentially they summarize it like, don't even bother. You're just going to be disappointed and waste your time. I'm, of course, the do your work guy. So I'm going to show you what the flip side of that is and how to get far better results. I'll leave a link to the article if you want to check it out below. Let's hop straight into it and get started. But first, through the magic of my amazing editing, check this out. You like that, huh? See? That's what you guys get from a guy like me on YouTube. All right, so let's hop right into this. I've got over here an illustration which basically breaks down the summary of the data here in this article. And by the way, this is not new. We've seen a lot of this stuff published from different dating apps and sites, everything from Match to OkCupid to Bumble to Tinder. Most recently, Tinder seems to be providing the most up-to-date, accurate information with how women use these apps. And this is essentially what happens. So let me just break it down for you in a visual. Essentially, 78% of the women are competing for 20% of the men. So the top 20% of the men are working with the top 78% of women. This is actually a good thing if you look at it from the perspective of, if you're up here, you're spoiled for choice dealing with this over here. The problem is most guys that are getting terrible results are in this area over here, and they're dealing with the bottom 20% of women. These women are not attractive. They often bring 4 kids in tow from 3 different fathers. They have all kinds of issues, personality disorders, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying that they don't exist here in the top anywhere, but they're far more common in the bottom. And of course, these women are a lot less attractive than these ones. So let's talk about how to get better results so that you can get yourself in the top area over here and have a far better experience so you don't get upset with yourself. The first thing that you're going to need to do as a guy is take an honest personal assessment of yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. So I'm going to put it to you like this, fellas. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the absolute best version of you. I'm not saying compare yourself to Hollywood actors or to billionaire entrepreneurs or any of those things. On a scale of 1 to 10 with where you sit in your own life, with 10 being the best version of you and 1 being the worst, where are you? Okay? Because if you're going to assess yourself personally and say, well, I really feel like I've got a lot of improvement and I'm a 5 out of 10, this is where you're sitting on the scale and this is why you're getting super bad results. Can you improve that? Yeah, I'm going to explain to you how you can improve that. Some of you guys might rate yourself higher, but one of the other exercises that you can do if you want an honest, like a truly honest assessment and feedback, or a proper feedback loop that's accurate with who you are, there's 2 ways that you can do it. One, you can log into a dating app from the female perspective. So you can log in and you can switch search parameters to like female searching males, and tie it into your demographic in your area, you know, within 50 kilometers or 30 miles of where you live, for example, and see what shows up in your age range. And, you know, if you previously would have assessed yourself as an 8 out of 10 based on how you think you'd be on the dating marketplace, but then you look at the results and you're like, I'm up against some stronger competition out there. Maybe I'm really only a 5 or 6 out of 10. Then you can correct that. Another good way that you can do it is there's an app out there or a website that you can use. I believe it's called photofeeler. And essentially you upload your photographs and real women will assess you on a scale of 1 to 10 and they'll give you a rating, and then you'll know whether or not you know, you're higher up on the scale or if you're further on down. And there's things that I'm going to explain to you that you can do to improve that so you can get better results. So let's deal with the looks department, because really when it comes to online dating for swiping or any of these apps, it's really about looks primarily. That's really what they're swiping on, the optics. The bio doesn't have a whole lot to do with it. There's some studies that I've seen in the past that demonstrated that women, when they double blind tested it, things like jobs or careers, I think the 2 highest swiped right on careers with the exact same picture were either pilot or entrepreneur. So those have a small bearing as far as meaning goes. But by far the biggest weighting is what does she see? Does she like it? Is she going to swipe right on it? The optics of it. Are you a handsome man? Are you a strong, handsome looking guy that looks alpha, you know, the typical Chad sort of thing. And you know, there's a lot of guys that are going to go, oh, this is unbelievable. It's impossible. You know, we can't all be Chads. You're right, you can't. But there's a lot of things that you can do to improve the optics and the aesthetic appeal of yourself, which I shall now proceed to explain to you. The first one is going to be a hard, bitter pill for a lot of guys in the West to swallow, because something like, I don't know what the stat was, something like 40 or 43% of men should be clinically diagnosed as obese. So most of you are fat. I'm just going to say it. The optics of attraction for women to men, which have been this way for millions of years and will continue to be this way for a million more years, is a nice V taper. Okay, so if we're talking about the body, which is pretty important, a lot more important than you think. I mean, if you're getting out of the shower and you look down and all you see is belly fat and you can't see your Johnson or your feet, you're overweight. You need to do something about it. You want to aim for a 1.62 golden ratio. That's the aesthetic ratio that women like the best. And the easiest way to measure that, find yourself like a stainless steel fridge door or a glass shower door, anything that you can stand up against with a dry erase marker. I'm just going to use this letter opener as an example for the time being, but you just mark your shoulder width from shoulder to shoulder, you know, at the widest points. And then you're also going to mark your belt line. So not your belly button line or anything lower, just mark where your belt sits, and, you know, boom, one side and one side and the back. And you should have 4 dots by the time you're done. If you're more of a stronger masculine man, you're going to have a V taper shape, which should be obvious to you at the point. Some of you may be pear shaped, meaning your narrow shoulders and big fat round waist. That's not attractive. And there's something that you can do about that, which is, you know, move more and eat better. You know, you can certainly improve your aesthetic appeal. I'm going to say almost all men can do this. This is something all of you can do if you want to double down and do the work. Eat better, stop eating crap, exercise more, pick up heavy shit, put it down, get into combat sports, do a lot more cardio. This will improve the golden ratio. So to figure it out, you just divide the bottom, you know, the distance between the bottom 2 dots and the top 2 dots, and that'll figure out what your ratio is. Aim for 1.62 or better. Pretty straightforward. I shouldn't have to spend too much time on that. The second thing is have a look. Okay, so have a look is really important. This is something that Rollo talked about in his first book in one of the chapters. If you haven't got The Rational Male, it's pinned in the Amazon store below. You should check it out. But all that have a look means is find somebody or a look out there that you can mimic that's desirable to women. Some guys will argue. So for me, for example, I could resign myself to the quitter side of the internet, just be like, I'm bald, I've got bad eyesight, I got scars on my arms, I got scars on my chest, no woman could possibly like me, blah, 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 fill in the reason why you suck. But at the end of the day, I look at it from the perspective of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Bruce Willis, Vin Diesel, Jason Statham. I mean, I could go on and on, but there's a lot of handsome men that women adore and admire that are Hollywood icon figures that do great, and they don't have hair and they don't have perfect eyesight or whatever. You know, you can fill in a blank. You don't have great eyesight, at least get some glasses that have some decent style to them, and pay extra for an index that make sure that you don't have like pop bottle glasses so that you look like Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys. But have a look, you know, look handsome. My buddy Ryan Stone always says, it's quite simple. Be attractive, don't be unattractive. You want them to swipe right on you, and you want to appear in this top half over, I've got to turn my finger because this is reversed here. You're going to have some work to do, especially if you're obese or you don't have a look. So clean yourself up. I'm going to talk about style. I have a book over here that I recommend you get, The Appearance of Power by Tanner Guzzi. He's a style guy. So you can pick that up on Amazon. It's available. It's not a big read. It'll sort you out for style. Many of you have terrible style. I've seen some photographs that guys have posted to me personally that I've coached to try to get better results online dating, or even in my community where they'll show up some photographs and say, you know, which one would you pick? And a lot of guys have really, really bad style and they don't have a look. Clean that part up. Build a strong aesthetic masculine frame, and you can easily push yourself up in the optics department right there and then alone. Let me talk about photography before I move on here. So photography is an interesting one because this is how most of you guys do your dating photography. Let me give you a real quick example. Okay. This is what most of your pictures look like. They just look like dorky selfies that you've taken, you know, in a mirror, or it's just some random photograph, you know, you took with your cell phone. And you got to do better than that. I'm going to show you what high quality photography looks like now. Now that you've seen that, you get the idea. There's a big difference. It doesn't cost a lot of money to get high quality photography that works in your favor. It really doesn't. You can go to Craigslist, you can go to Kijiji if you're in Canada. Even Airbnb has a section called Airbnb Experiences. And usually for about $100 or so, you can book a student photographer that has a great DSLR with an amazing glass lens that understands lighting and has probably some good ideas of where to take photographs. I mean, all you have to do is look at their portfolio, ask them to show you what they've done. And you bring a couple of different outfits with you and you go and do a photo shoot for a couple of hours. This will be useful for you on dating apps. This will also be useful for you on social media, for LinkedIn, for profile pictures or headshots. If you're, you know, entrepreneur or business owner, or you're a department manager for something, you know, you need good photography. Stop using dorky photography that makes you look terrible. You can literally, I'm going to tell you a quick story. So a friend of mine, I would rate him around like a 6 out of 10. He had amazing photography done with great style, just had his hair done, you know, right time of year with the right lighting, with the right outfit. And he would easily come off as an 8 or 9 out of 10. So you can literally move yourself up at least 1 to 3 points in some cases, depending on, you know, how much work might be involved, literally with photography. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a website out there called photofeeler. I believe there's an app component to it as well. All you do is upload some of your best photographs. So you upload the ones that you think will do the best. Real women will vote on them, and you'll get an accurate, you know, depiction of which ones will do the best for you. You could even do touch-up stuff. There's face apps which you can apply cleanups to faces. Women use them all the time. You know, some guys, well, isn't that deceptive, Rich? That's not right. We shouldn't be doing it. Look, women make up push-up bras, high heels, Spanx, hair dye. I could go on and on. Women go to extreme lengths to make themselves look attractive when they go out, especially at nighttime. There's nothing wrong with you throwing a little filter on an app, you know, if you really want to. So there's different things that you can do to really get a far better result in that. Right, now before we continue, I want to talk about the sponsor of this video, Iconic. These guys do amazing canvas photography. So before I move into the next step, I want to talk about these guys because it's really cool. I've got about 4 different canvas posts over here. You can grab these from iconic.com/Cooper15. So I'll put it up there so you can grab it. I'll also link it below. These are high quality canvases. I've referenced this image before. It's been sitting on the back wall for a couple of other videos. Some of you guys have said in the comments, where do you get those? You know, can you give me a link? This is it. I really like these. These are probably going to go in my gym downstairs. You've seen that one before. I've got another one over here. You know, work harder. Nobody cares. You know, these are reminders to do the work, gentlemen. I love these things. They're not expensive. Also, if you check out with coupon code Cooper15, you'll also get 15% off at the checkout point, right? Nothing changes if nothing changes. True story. Don't lie to yourself. You know, you can go and sit there and complain about getting crap results with women, but at the end of the day, if you're not going to do any work to improve yourself, nothing will change as far as that goes. Here's another great one that I really like too. Success, nutrition facts. Hustle, focus, persistence, discipline, failure, risk, patience. Anyway, you'll probably see these up on the wall at some point, or maybe on Instagram or something if you're following me there. But really cool stuff. If you're looking for some inspiration or some artwork for your place to kind of pimp it out a little bit, I'd recommend checking it out. Again, pinned in the description below. It's iconic.com/Cooper15. Check out with Cooper code Cooper15 and you'll get 15% off. Okay, let's talk about money now before we start to wrap this up. We've dealt with the optics. There should be no question about those items there. When it comes to money, now this is not an overnight solution. You can probably deal with the optics of bad style, a bad haircut, even if you're overweight, within 6 to 12 months for most guys, and get significant improvement. When it comes to money, women look for, again, because I don't have the chart anymore, you know, but I've moved it, but women are looking for the top 20% of men. That includes not just 20% in the looks area, but it also includes 20% in the, are you a rainmaker? You know, do you make bank? So I'm just going to say this. Look, if you're going to put on your dating app that you're the custodian at the airport or the school, for example, you're not going to get great results with women. You know, you're going to be dealing with the bottom 20%, the unattractive ones, the more overweight ones. They might be bringing a whole bunch of kids in tow and all kinds of other problems. So you can't blame anybody but yourself if that's what you've chosen to do with your life. The top 20% of guys, so I did a quick Google search just now. In Canada, the top 20% in 2018, according to this report, was $134,900. I was making that money at 29 years old. Okay, I'm 46 today. It is not impossible for guys like you to go out there and do the work and get to a decent income level. I'm not even saying be in the top 1%. At least get yourself in the top 20%. If you've chosen a career path that doesn't pay well enough, find something else, you know, or you can just resign yourself to the bottom 20% of the most unattractive women. It doesn't matter what your mom told you. You know, if your mom told you just be a nice guy and, you know, you're just going to find a good girl, it's just going to happen. She lied to you, bro. Sorry to tell you, but she lied to you. It doesn't work that way in the real world. Women are hypergamous. I've talked about this on my channel before, and all that really means is they're just asking themselves, is this guy the best that I can do? Is he the best that I can do in the looks department? Is he the best that I can do in the money department? Women don't share their money with men. Men are, of course, expected to be rainmakers. And, you know, we can talk separately in another video about how you should manage your money or her access to it, which should be very limited. But you need to demonstrate that you can make it rain. So figure that out for yourself. Those are the two main components when it comes to getting better results. Like I had mentioned before, you want a looks max and you want to signal that you've got the capacity to make it rain. Status is important too. You know, you can fix that later on. You can deal with things like a decent social media footprint, for example. Women want to know that they're with a guy of some status. That's something that you can also signal in the photography. You're not going to use terrible selfies and mirrors for photography, as I mentioned earlier. You should be using high quality DSLR photographs. You should be able to signal that you've got access to great events, not on some rubber dinghy that's sinking in the middle of the lake, perhaps a nice boat from a boat cruise party or something like that. Or if you had a friend's lake house, you get some good photography there with some cool guys and a nice wake surfing boat. You get the idea, right? You can signal status that way. So consider those things. Again, the main thing really is the looks, the optics of looking better, because that's what women swipe right on. It's almost 100% about the looks part. The other parts after that fall in line with game and how to do the openers. That's not what this video is about. This is specifically about optimizing these areas so you get better results, so you can get yourself in the top 20% and not have to whine about having to deal with the unattractive ladies. Right, let's leave it at that. Smash the like button. Leave me a comment below. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, guys, make sure you do that. You know, the algorithms here on YouTube really love it when you show a lot of interest in the channel. So do that for sure. I got lots of content coming out. I got a playlist on Monday nights called Before the Train Wreck. I do other stuff with the Rule Zero guys. So make sure you hit that subscription button. We will see you guys in the next video. Check out the sponsor of this channel, the Iconic brand, with those canvas prints that way, just over my shoulder. These things are cool. Check it out. We'll see you guys later. Next video. Peace.